Is it possible to learn this power?
Hello and welcome Tano. As you saw in the gameplay, it is a new build for Oberon to tank level 9199 steep path enemies in Warframe and without shields. We're talking about health tanking, so don't forget to like, subscribe for more content. As always, leave your feedback in the comment section below. Let's get started. And as always, we start with beginners friendly approach, taking step by step Oberon kit for new Thanos to learn about it, and veterans may learn a tip here and there. Now, Oberon is very easy Warframe to use. It's not complicated at all, especially after the rework. Passive: Oberon grants righteous negation to himself and his allies in affinity range when he collected health orbs, protecting players against the next instant damage stacks up to 3 times. Simple and easy. Every time you pick up a health orb, you have this stacks right here, righteous negation, protection from the next instant of damage. In the meaning of, instead of dying, doesn't matter what hit you get, you will lose one of these stacks. And you can refill these stacks by just picking health orbs. Easy as that. Now, first ability called Smite. Focus deadly energy within a target, dealing massive damage and removing all of its defenses, including overguard. Enemies near the target also take a portion of the damage. Now, the most powerful thing about Smite is it will armor strip enemies, will take off all their overguard, also will deal damage to their HP up to 75%. Also, the nearby enemies to that target, 30% of that damage. It's like some small nuke of 6 meters. So let me show you. So if we summon a Thrax Centurion, really quick, alright, and we just hit him with the Smite, boom, you'd see that we already armor stripped it, removed overguard, and deals certain amount of damage to its HP, because this ability is affected also with ability Strength, and this is unmodded Oberon, and that's how powerful that ability is without even mods. Now, so if you want to max out the damage output of the Smite, you need 215 strength. If you want to max out the damage output of nearby enemies to deal 30%, you will need around 300% ability strength. Now, this ability got an augment called the Smite Infusion. Smite Augment, hold to cast, will grant all allies within 15 meters an additional 100% radiation damage to their attacks for 40 seconds. And this radiation damage, of course, it's affected by ability Strength. It's easy as that. Now, remember Tano, this Warframe is a goat framed. And one more thing, I hope DE one day decide to update the simulacrum where we can see the augments in here. So I can show it to you guys, and in the same time we'll talk about it, because I have it all linked in here, because it's not convenient, honestly. Hollowed Ground sanctifies the ground around Oberon, inflicting radiation damage. Now, radiation damage, in case you don't know what it is, radiation damage will confuse enemy and make them attack each other, some sort of CC. To all enemies within radius, also grants protection against statue effects for Oberon and his allies. That means when you are standing in the hollowed ground, this herb thing right here, you are immune to all statue effects, including knockdown. So if you're not a fan of Prime Sure-Footed or any Sure-Footed or any Handspring, now this is the Warframe probably for you. But between the hallowed grounds, you can get knocked down, so keep that in mind. Now, it got an augment called the Hallowed Eruption. Hallowed Ground Augment reactivate to deal all remaining damage and radiation status. Passive plus 200% Hallowed Ground duration. Maybe in the future we going to build around it, but it's not for this video. Third ability, Renewal. Generate a protective aura that grants bonus armor to Oberon and his allies and restores allies' health over time. Healing is doubled when within the radius of Hallowed Ground. That means you're gonna get the armor double and the health multiplied when you are standing in the Hallowed Ground. Also, it slows down the bleed out of teammates. The main reason of Renewal and the power of it is healing yourself. Now, this Renewal is really good when it comes to healing you for low to early mid game, but at the end game it can't keep up, of course. Now, it got an augment called the Phoenix Renewal. Taking fatal damage while under the effect of Renewal will instead heal you or ally, which is really amazing, to 50% health. This effect triggers only once for each ally every 60 seconds. Now this is not good when it comes to 60 seconds. Let's just say if it was 10 seconds would be nice, but it is what it is. So Renewal is very simple. You just tap, the ability is immediately active. Right here, increase of armor and Renewal, increase health regenerating. Now if I stand in top of the Hallowed Ground, you'd see that I got my health regenerating double. Okay, simple as that. Now moving on to the fourth ability, Reckoning. Lifts enemies into the air and then hurls them down with conviction, removing their armor. Enemies hit by this ability will grant Oberon additional armor and have a chance to spawn a health orb when they die. Now it is very amazing and powerful, as the health orb right there is 50%. When we equip more strength right there, for example, you'd see that it's not moving up. So 50% will be always there. It doesn't matter how much strength you actually put in there, as I get a lot of times then asking me if I get more strength, would I get more health orbs? No, it's not like that. But what you can do is get the Arcane Universal Fallout right here. Each radiation statue effect inflict an enemy by ability gives 6% chance to universal orb in earth, whatever. Now it gives you the righteous, that's what we're looking for, but we did this on the previous build. As you know, in my channel I try always to give you guys different builds every time. Now the got two augments. First, Hallowed Reckoning. Reckoning gain 40% range, a 3-meter radius around each affected enemy. Grant bonus armor to allies and deal 300 damage per second to enemies. The second one, called Defiled Reckoning. This one, health orbs become unusable by enemies for 10 seconds. Now this, when you see this tag right here, it's the Conclave. Now this ability is simple and easy to use. Fourth ability, Cast. Boom, you pick them up in the air, put them down. Now 2 casts because this guy is technically without any ability strength. Right here, see? Now you can see that right about damage reduction 60%. If I equip, for example, Blind Rage, you'll see that it's 100%. Now with one tap you can actually take him out. Now how you play Oberon. Let's summon Heavy Corrupted Gunners really quick and I show you how to play him really easy. Now first thing you want to do is always cast your second ability. There you go, boom. Now second thing you want to do, activate third ability, Renewal. You want it to have it active all the time. Next, you want to raise enemies up in the sky and armor strip them, okay? And then you want to use the first ability and boom, you'll be taking them out. And when they're gathered like that with Nautilus, as an example, that 6-meter radius become a nuke in there, and so and so and so and so. Now, the most powerful thing about Smite is when you get more, when enemies get higher HP, higher overguard, and higher that, it deals more damage, which is the point and which what makes this ability really powerful. Now Tano, next thing you want to learn is that before you build anything in Warframe, make sure to check Warframe wiki right here. Tons of information in there about Oberon that the game doesn't tell you until it connects Warframe wiki within the in-game information. So new players learn straight away and veterans improve their builds because they will get their hands in more and more information. Now, before I build anything in Warframe, I'll always use my method called DVS. D stands for how I deal damage, what elements I'll be using, what's the faction I'll be fighting, and that will play a critical role on how I proceed on my builds. V is the meta as viral affects every enemy in the game, as every enemy has HP. What it does, 10 stacks of viral equal to increase of 325% more damage to enemies HP. S stands for stripping enemies armor. By lowering their armor, you lower their damage reduction and you deal higher damage. Now Oberon already offers two types of stripping. First ability, smite, single targeting, take off armor and enemies take off their armor and enemies over guard. Fourth ability is AoE armor strip, so you're covered about that. All you need to do is figure your viral, can be companion, can be anything. Speaks of that, I prepared for you this sheet right here. It can help you maneuver around the methods to find your own style. As always, in Warframe you can do things in many different ways, but the results always pretty much the same. The reason we go to level cap, because enemies scale on EHP, effective hit points. The higher level they are, the more HP, shield and overguard. And I want to show you investment of Platinum Ampharma and Auraforma and Ambraforma and wherever, how it performs at the end game. Also, enemies at level cap scale on damage output, and I want to show you how the Warframe survives at that level. Now, first thing first, you don't need shield gating this time because we're going for health tanking. Now remember, Tano, before we proceed any further, I want you to know this is not the first build in my channel for Oberon, and it will not be the last. As my goal for this channel is to become a catalog, a category, whatever you want to call it. When you come to my channel, you can find Oberon builds with different helmet abilities, Oberon builds with different style, Oberon builds with different approach, and so on, so on, so on, so. And that goes for all other Warframes and all other weapons, and that's my ultimate goal. So, you know what I mean. Now, first thing first, we start with archon shards. Now, archon shards, they are optional, and the problem with archon shards is that we can't have, let's say, loadouts for archon shards. So I hope one day DE, again, I know, now a lot of Thanos tell me, give them a break, but this is like my criticism where I think there is a high quality change, and I'm sure everybody agree on this. Now, a loadout for archon shards, A, B, C, D, E, F, or whatever, so we can have many archon shards in the same Warframe for different build style. Now, DE already knows that this game can be done in many different ways, and builds may be done in many different ways, and that's going to be really, really high quality of life. Now, again, the archon shards are optional and depends on what style you're going for. First, I have Tauforged Crimson Archon Shard for ability duration. I have the Tauforged Amber Archon Shard for casting speed. This one, you don't need it for this build, it's for shield capacity for another build that I did if you watch my previous video. Now, this Tauforged Azure and this Tauforged Azure for armor, to make sure that he reaches 700 armor. Now we're getting to 900, a bit over the top, but no problem at all. Now, the build we're going for today is the Arcane Persistence. Remove all shields. If armor is above 700, cannot be hit for more than 500 damage per second. So we have 1069, right? That's 2 seconds and another hit that will kill you. Okay. Magnetic statue, which is not enough, of course, that's why we're running the other arcane. Now, magnetic statue and ability nullifying effect disable this protection. Now, first thing first, when you get a heat effect on you, your armor will be cut in half, become 450, automatically arcane persistence turn off. If you get magnetic effect, negative statue effect on you, arcane persistence will turn off. DE nerfed arcane persistence because of my video on Inaros, 30 minutes after they nerfed it. I'm sorry guys that I have to release a video, but they did it, and everything I mentioned on that video on my Inaros, they did exactly what I said in that video. Now, when it comes to nullifying, we talk about two types of nullifying. You got the nullifiers, you want to avoid them at all costs, and you got the violence, which very tough, and there is no shame on dying against the acolyte violence, not violence. Now, what Oberon has to offer that can counter this? Now, heat, magnetic statue effects, and nullifiers near you, not you are inside their bubble, near you, the hallowed ground will be protecting you still, and after the rework, the hallowed ground will not be removed from the nullifiers, which is really good, so you're immune to statue effects all time as long as you are in top of hallowed ground. And then we're gonna get to the helmet ability, which also will help you out with that. Now, what you have rest is don't go in nullifier bubbles and deal with violence, just take him out as fast as possible and you're good to go. Also, your fourth ability can armor strip him, and your first ability can armor strip him as well. Now, Arcane Blessing on health pickup, 24 max health, stacks up to 50 times plus 1 arcane revive. So we have 1069. Now, if I pick up health orbs, I'm just gonna stand in here really quick, boom. Now, I got myself 2269 health. That means 4 seconds. 4 seconds plus extra hit that will kill you. So 4 seconds and you're good to go. In top of the 4 seconds, you got 0.25 seconds every time righteous negation gets off, and plus 0.5 seconds for the last righteous negation stack. So that's a lot of time you have to react. But there comes the question, how are we gonna heal ourselves? But first, let me show you how you get your energy. You get your energy by Hunter Adrenaline. Since our HP is exposed to enemies' damage, Hunter Adrenaline will convert 45% of damage on health to energy without shields, ally overguard, imitate hits, blah blah blah. Now, what makes Hunter Adrenaline scalable ability to all the way to level cap, scalable mod all the way to level cap, as again I said, the higher level enemies are, the more damage they will deal, the higher energy you will regenerate with Hunter Adrenaline, which is really powerful. Now, Transfortitude for ability strength, negative ability duration, flow for energy max, umbral intensify, umbral vitality for health and strength, overextend for range, rolling guard for of course bad situations, as you may face any situation that requires it, as for example a nullifier in front of you, a Thrax charging, and a violent spawn. Now this situation you can get around with them even without rolling guard, so if you feel like it, just take off rolling guard, there is no issue with that. Place it with anything that you really want in here, maybe more strength or whatever. Now, continuity for duration, vitality and hunter, we did that already, and that's it. Now for the aura here, I left an empty spot for you to run wherever you want. More strength, more range, totally up to you. Run wherever you want. You don't need primal sure-footed or handspring, but they are really helpful if you want to equip them in there, as sometimes you move from hallowed ground to another hallowed ground or location to location, especially in Cascade you keep moving. You may get knocked down, but you will not be dead unless they proc on you, of course, a statue effect. Now, the helmet ability that I'll be using today is the Well of Life from Trinity. Now, this one, increase immortality cooldown by 120 per second, create a Well of Life on an enemy who will absorb statue effect damage. So that's another statue effect absorbing. Instead, intended for nearby allies, allies gain additional health when they attack the target. If ally dies, enemy in the Well of Life die in their stead. Now, what this ability actually does, it will give you lifesteal, and it will get you health per second. So we're running 150 health per second right here. We can cast 3, that's 450. With growing power, we're getting more strength, and hopefully we reach the 500, which we will. Now, when we get all that done, that means we technically immortal and unkillable health tanks. And that's how we can sit down, negating statue effects, and sitting down, armor stripping, one-shotting, single targeting high elite enemies like Thrax, and nuking nearby 6 meters radius. Now we get like actually 11.4 meter right there, which is really insane, especially if you take down a Thrax with high EHP. All enemies nearby will go crazy. I know we're not running the 300, but still it's very powerful as the enemies gets higher in their HP. Now, umbral sets, you get them from Sacrificial Quest, Flow, Continuity. Always when you see a primed mod, remember Tano, 2 options to get them. Three options to get them. First, you can get them from players. Second option, you can get them either from login rewards. Third option, you can get them from Barukitir. He comes every 2 weeks, once. You need ducats. Ducats, you get them from the primed parts that you get them from the relics. Those prime parts, you trash them on any kiosk in any relay, you get ducats, you trade them for that, but make sure to check Warframe market for the value of your prime parts before you trash them, as some parts may cost a lot of platinum and you don't know that. So, now, in case you face any situation that it's bad, I always take backups. That's why I take, for example, Zoris. You can take any glaive. You can take any heavy attack weapon, it doesn't have to be Zoris. Just run Life Strike, 20% life steal on heavy attack. In case something happens, something wrong, and you want to heal yourself, it will play a huge role in there. My companion, as always, it's very no companion. Gordon to pull enemies, Duplex for the clone, Assault to attack, Vacuum for the loot, Manifold for more Gordon, Shield, Armor, Health, Fire Rate, Tenacious Bond for critical damage if your sentient weapon has 50% plus critical chance. For Verglass, which is the best sentient and the most powerful sentient weapon, you need a Riven with CC. So, if you don't have a Riven with CC and you want to activate Tenacious Bond for critical damage, run Primal Laser Rifle or Volclock until you get a Riven. Simple and easy. So now, really quick, let me show you how we're gonna play this. First thing first, we're gonna summon the Hallowed Ground. Then I'm gonna just 1 Well of Life, 2 Well of Life, 3 Well of Life, and I'm gonna just get my health pretty quick here for the cat. And pretty much, you know, you can just sit down and you have nothing to worry about at all until the Well of Life enemies are out. You can look at them right there. I mean, as long as they are alive, you will not be killed, Tano. It's not possible they kill you at all. Okay, so, but this is the way you are surviving, right? Now, of course, Hallowed Ground always need to be active. Now, you got knocked down, you see, that's what I mean when sometimes comes in handy, the Prime with the... I even forgot about it. Anyway, now, the Hallowed Ground, it's good to always have to resist knockdown, okay? And there you go. Oh, boom. It's called Prime Sure-Footed. Crazy. My brain is full of mods and combinations and it's crazy, guys. Now, there you go. That's easy. Now, if you're wondering if we can actually survive Thrax Centurions, now Thrax has a Overguard, so that means we need to take down the Overguard so we can have like 3 enemies from them with the Well of Life. Okay, so we need to activate this. Boom. Now we need to catch some of them for Well of Life. Now we got 1. Now usually you're gonna get like nearby enemies for this, but you get the point here. So typically, there you go, boom, and you can sit down, and they will not be able to kill you because you're taking no more than 500 damage per second, and Well of Life will heal you. Now Well of Life is out. Look at this, rolling guard, boom, and you're back at the game, baby. Now you can heal yourself by using again your heavy attacks, as I mentioned earlier, and so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. Okay, and that's Oberon, and this is the new build for health tanking. Now I'm not using any augments from his kit, as I didn't feel they like fit anywhere in this specific build I am making for him. So every time that screen comes in, I think I'm banned. I don't know why, but anyway. So Oberon health tanking build, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. Really amazing. You will love it. There is no doubt about that. It is really good, and he self-cast everything. And maybe in the future I will make him like a full caster Warframe, and we're gonna look about that and so. So let me know in the comments below what you think about Oberon health tanking. It's fun, it's nice, and pretty much most of my builds, when I do a previous build and a new build, you don't really invest on format, only rarely, you know, and you can even make this build more powerful. Depends on your style and your approach. The good thing about my builds, I do my best to ensure that you can twist them, flip them, change them to your style and the way you like in Warframe. So by this, we reach the end. I want to say special thanks to all of members, special VIPs, and disputed donators, all of donations, everyone community, and the viewer of the month, and the top bits. Remember, Tano, to join my Discord, link in the description. Feel free to join my clan if you want to by asking on Discord if you want to join the clan. Remember, Tano, I have Twitch, Instagram, Twitter X, and Facebook page, and TikTok. And see you guys next time.